actions are going to occur before Wednesday night when the first round of the NBA draft is held. Let's just go through the list here. Boston's got significant luxury tax salary cap problems for the new owners. The rumor everywhere out of New England is they're going to trade two of their veteran players. They're going to try to move Kristaps Porzingis, the 7-foot shooting center, who's had a history of injuries and has never ever panned out to be what they thought he would be. They're looking at moving Porzingis, and they're going to move Jrue Holiday. Holiday is the one that's played a real vital role from a veteran leader standpoint with a building Boston Celtics team. The next one is the Lakers. The Lakers are trying really hard to make a deal to get a center. I like this player, but I don't know if this player fits what the Lakers want to be. The Lakers evidently are closing in, trying to make the deal to get Utah Jazz center Walker Kessler. He's a 7-footer, averaged 11 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 block shots per game, plays lots of minutes, and is a young guy. He's just big and lumbering. He doesn't run the floor. So how are you going to have a push-the-tempo basketball team with a center that's always trailing the play? They're talking to other clubs about different deals. It sure looks like the Lakers are going to have to give up a number one, the only number one they can trade. They're going to have to give up Dalton Knecht. Rui Hachimura might be in the transaction. I don't know if Kessler's the right guy, but he's the youngest guy of the group of rim protectors that the Lakers are looking at. Lakers are also talking about a secondary deal. I don't think the price would be very high. They would get Marcus Smart, who's moved around the NBA. Pretty good guard, defensive specialist in the backcourt. He's currently with the Washington Wizards. He was in Memphis prior to that. He's in Sacramento. He's got a history of injury, though, but he can still play. So keep an eye. The Lakers are going to do one thing. The Lakers might do two things before the start of the draft on Wednesday. Sacramento, which is constantly changing pieces. I've never forgiven Sacramento for the transaction in which they let go DeAndre Fox when he went to San Antonio at the trade deadline. Sacramento's trying to move DeMar DeRozan. He may wind up going to Miami in a transaction. Minnesota's talking about shopping Naz Reid or Julius Randle in some type of sign-and-trade transaction where those guys can opt out, become free agents. And the New York Knicks, who don't have a coach, Knickerbockers are evidently waiting for Friday when the free agent window opens. The Knickerbockers are interested in adding chemistry guys to this whole mixed bag of guys that they've got led by Jalen Brunson. They're interested in Al Horford of Boston and CP3, Chris Paul of San Antonio. Those are chemistry guys, off-the-bench guys who are guys who contribute. So it's good. To me, it's fascinating what's going to happen. All this in the next 72 hours till we get to the draft Wednesday night at 5 p.m. So, John, I threw a lot of stuff there. Your thoughts on Boston? Jrue Holiday to the Clippers, does that make sense at his age? Lakers, you like Walker Kessler? Go ahead. Pick a team, pick a topic. Pick and roll me some opinions.
Pick and roll me. Okay, so I some of these veterans, it might make sense to move them around, but I'm thinking, man, why not just rebuild through the draft? I mean, for a lot of these teams, like for example, the Lakers, they don't have a number one, do they? They
have one pick and one number one they can trade. It's not till 2031. They've traded everything away.
Well, but they have number twos, right?
Yeah, but number twos mean much lesser of potential ball player.
Yeah, so hear me out on this theory. So we've talked a lot about how the NBA is changing and that we're not getting
athletically.
Yeah, we're not getting these big aircraft carrier guys like Shaq, but that's kind of what the Lakers need. I mean, right? To be the complement to LeBron and Luka. So maybe the market, the way it's shifted going for these big guys like Miles Turner or Chet Holmgren, maybe that opens up a window for them to get a really good big man in the second round or, low price in a trade.
Problem is, big man second round is not so good project.
But the point is that the other teams aren't looking at that talent. They're looking for, wings. They're going to shoot threes. They're looking for guys to play hella defense along the perimeter. They're not looking for the big guy because it's out of fashion. And I'm just thinking that counter strategy could work to the Lakers' advantage.
So you're telling me you don't like the idea of Walker Kessler, Utah, who can score and is a shot blocker, but he's a plotter.
Yeah, well, How old is he?
Young.
He's still young. Okay, so then maybe there's a chance with that guy. But the strategy, I think, is similar, right? You're going for these big guys.
But he's not a guy who runs the floor.
Well, then maybe one of those guys is going to be in the draft in the second round. Maybe they're going to leak down that low.
Their pick is 55.
When did they pick Bronny? I mean, that was like 55 or something.
53.
Yeah.
Project.
Yes.
Okay, that's all things NBA. You're a pro basketball fan, want your opinion, feel free to dive in here.